Okay, good morning. It is Friday, the 21st of February. I'm going to pick up on where I left off yesterday with the trading plan. Early on during the course of the morning, we were talking about this area of support down here around 17, and we've been discussing it for most of the week. Let me just draw a line here so you can see a little bit better. Drawing a rectangle. So, this is the area that we have been talking about for several trading sessions down around in this area. So once the market started to get down here, we created a base throughout the very early morning action. And so yesterday's trading plan was that once we come back down into this area, if we revisit and hold it, then I want to establish calls. And that's what happened. Okay, so during the course of the morning, on two different occasions, I bought some at $1.25 and others at $1.85. Market started to spike up. I was able to take off some at 3.25 with the objective of prices moving up to this 1840, 1845 area. We started to put in a little bit of a flat line here late in the day, near the high of the day, and I was able to close the position with the remaining contracts um, for over $4. So very little risk to the downside here as long as this area was going to hold. And then once we got up into this area of 1840, what I was looking at is during the last couple of trading sessions, you can see, let me just draw a line across here, along these highs where the market had trouble. So once we achieve this area, the question becomes, well, do I hold on for this extra little bit to get up to the objective or just take it? I've got a nice, very handsome profit. The options expire in one day today. So I took them. We took them off and we followed our trading plan. So for today, what we're looking for is to see how this area, let me take this out for clarification, how this area behaves in here. I'd like to complete this up to this 1847 area and then look for a formation that would take us back down. Let me look at one other thing here before I talk about today's plan. What I want to do here is that what happens if this thing just fell out? What would we do then yesterday? And I think this is important to discuss. If we were to just fall out to the bottom here. So let me take these out and say, okay, what would we do? Well, I bought these things for on average for about $1.50, about $75 a contract. Worst thing, if the market went completely to heck, I would lose $75. I can handle that risk. And so, but what we would want to do is that if this area was compromised to the downside, oftentimes what happens in an area that's significant, like this 1817 area, is I'd like to see a push through it and then a retracement, generally speaking, back up to it with a bearish formation. That would send this market to the downside. So that's what I would be looking for here. I wouldn't panic in here. I don't have to with the options. If it all goes to heck, like I said, I'll lose $75. But typically we'll get a reversal back up into here where I can get some of it back. And then I would be establishing puts to the downside here, right up in here, pretty close to this area. But again, worst case scenario, and that's the nice thing about doing the options, is that I'd lose the $75 per contract. And while it shook out down here, with the futures, it'll drive you crazy. With the options, the risk is very little, and so you can it's a bit more easy, I think, to be able to work through these areas. And you can see and hear that we have plenty of time, and that's why I think the service is helpful, because you don't have to be looking at this thing tick for tick. So let's look at today's action. And let me show you what we're going to look for. Again, I'd like to complete this to the upside. If not, if it falls back down, we're going to look for, again, the same kind of pattern here. But as per yesterday's action, you can see why I look for these areas to materialize. So if, best case, if this thing moves up and completes the move to the upside here to this 1847 area, then I'm going to look to see if this area holds or not. If it looks like we get a bearish formation up here, then I want to establish puts to the downside. If it does not and it pushes through this area, then I'm going to look for a retracement back down into it, and then I'll be looking to establish calls up in here with the objective of going up to this 69 area. Okay. If we should go conversely to the downside, we would need to come all the way back down in here for me to establish a call position. There are a couple of little minor support areas in here, but this is the area that if I can get a bullish formation in here, I can justify putting on calls down here to return up to the upside. So we'll see how this market looks today and act accordingly.